The final candidate for governor, Bob Springmeyer. Well, I'd like to introduce good old Bob. It's good to see you all. I stood before you on a similar platform in 1988. I wish I had had this many Democrats to campaign with. We have a party that's alive again. Look at all the youth here. It is so magnificent. It is so cool. And when I thought about the gubernatorial race this year, actually without ever hearing about his interest, I thought Bob Springmeyer, my good friend for 50 years, would make a good governor for you and for this great state. I first met him on a climbing rope in Little Cottonwood Canyon. It probably proves he's dumb enough to be governor. And we together over the years have been climbing partners, fishing buddies. I would trust my life and have to Bob. I watched him as a person. He's worked hard in his profession. He doesn't come from a profession. He's a businessman. He works with local governments. He makes it easier for your city and other cities to get their job done. Bob Springmeyer doesn't have a corporate jet like other governors do. He understands what it's like to be rooted and to work with people. He and his wife, Gwen, lovely Gwen, have worked hard to create the Ronald McDonald House. Just as an example of their social commitment to the state. He has in many ways reached out across all lines in this state. He understands the politics of government. He will never be a slave to our malfunctioning legislature. He would be the guy that would stand up to them. So today it's my pleasure to tell you that Bob Springmeyer is a real candidate, has a real chance to win this race with all this Democratic support and the entire tide changing nationally and locally. I'm just proud to be here, Ted Wilson, to nominate Bob Springmeyer as the next governor of the state of Utah and the candidate of this Democratic Party. Thank you.
You know what's so great about the Democratic Party? It's that it's the party for all people. It's a party for women. It's a party for union workers. It's a party for far-out thinkers. It's a party for ethnic minorities. It's a party for gays and lesbians. It's a party for conservatives, for moderates, and for liberals. And it's even a party for a person who thinks that wearing a bow tie every day is a way cool thing. I've given it a lot of thought. This is a party for all the people. I thought maybe wearing a bow tie is not so bad. So I designed a bow tie of my own. I am proud to second the nomination of a man who has lived his life following the principles of the Democratic Party, and that is hard work and sacrifice and service to the people. Bob has been a Rotarian for years and years. He's been president of his Rotary Club, and through that has provided great service for his community. I am proud, ladies and gentlemen, to second the nomination of the next governor, Governor Bob Springmeyer.
Good afternoon. I'm Bob Springmeyer. I'm the good jobs, good education, good health, clean air, clean water candidate for governor of the state of Utah. Let me introduce my wife Gwen over here, my son and business partner John somewhere out there. Yes, I'm the same guy that stood before you last night with a bolo tie and a big hat on. That was a great party last night. Thanks to Gwen, thanks to Tika, all the members of the planning committee for the JJ. Would you stand up and let's give them a big applause. That was a great party last night. Come on, stand up, Gwen. My family has deep roots in the state of Utah. My great-great-great-grandparents came here seeking religious tolerance and economic opportunity. I grew up in Sugar House. My mother's a school teacher. My father was an architect. I'm an Eagle Scout. My family helped build the state of Utah. On my mother's side of the family are the road contractors out of Utah County, out of Springville and Mapleton, that build roads all around this state. My father's side of the family pioneered the ice cream business in this state. We all know Snellgroves. Laird Snellgrove's father was my grandfather's plant manager. We worked together to build ice cream. I attended public schools. I became the third generation in my family to be a college graduate. I know what it takes to roll up your sleeves and do hard work. I worked construction to get my way through college. Ted mentioned the Ronald McDonald House. Gwen and I pulled together some friends, some associates. We built that house to serve families of sick children, not just from Salt Lake, but people from all around the state of Utah, Wyoming, and Idaho. An example of what you can do if you roll up your sleeves, willing to get your hands dirty, do some hard work. I've got a few thoughts I've shared with many of you during the caucus about the need for good education so this next generation can hold and keep good jobs that can support families. We've talked about the environment. We've talked about the need for clean air and clean water and clean energy. We've also talked about the war that our state legislature has declared on our middle class. A corrupt, self-serving state legislature that doesn't understand the difference between personal interest, conflicts of interest, and the public interest. We need to change that. I've got a slide that I'd like to have pulled up. The party asked me to run, and as I was trying to decide whether to take on this challenge, my son and I were at a seminar and we saw this slide. And this is what made us decide to take on this challenge. In 1984, Utah hit a peak. This is the percentage of Utah wages against national wages. Under Democratic Cal Rampton, under Democratic Scott Matheson, wages in the state of Utah went up. Look what happened. Look what happened when the Republicans took over. Look at that steep drop. That's why I'm running. That's why we need change. That's why our children can't afford to go to college. That's why people in San Pete County came up to me and said, hey, I can't afford to pay my medical bills. I can't afford insurance. That's why we need to change. That's why we must do better. And frankly, that's why I'm running for this office. You've all seen me use this pen before. This is the pen that will veto any bill that comes out of a closed caucus. This is the pen. Thank you. This is the pen that would have vetoed the voucher bill, the bill that wasted a lot of money that should have gone to our children and an education. This is the bill that will veto any legislation that tries to micromanage local government and our local school districts. This is the pen that would have vetoed the omnibus education bill, which continued to take money out of our public education.